39. There is no problem if.
얻어 되다 소스, howtostudykorean.com.
Below is a list of vocabularies to be used in this lesson. Nouns.
감독관,
Means supervisor, proctor.
심장,
Means heart.
수염,
Means facial hair.
명예,
Means honor.
당구,
Means billiards.
얼룩말,
Means zebra.
탁구,
Means table tennis.
시합,
Means game, match, competition.
인문,
Means humanities, liberal arts.
자격,
Means qualification.
자격증,
Means certificate, something showing qualification.
기억력,
Means memory.
먹이,
Means prey, food.
교도소,
Means prison.
죄수,
Means prisoner. Verbs.
파악하다,
Means to understand, to grasp, to figure out.
살아나다,
Means to revive.
동반하다,
Means to accompany.
회복하다,
Means to restore, to recover. Adjectives.
편리하다,
Means to be convenient, to be handy.
불쾌하다,
Means to be unpleasant, to be nasty.
단단하다,
Means to be hard, to be stiff. Introduction. In this lesson, you will build on your understanding of.
얻어,
To make sentences using.
되다,
Using these concepts, you will be able to indicate that here is no problem if something is or is not done. Let's get started. Another meaning of.
되다,
In previous lessons, you learned some uses of the word.
되다,
For example, in lesson 9 you learned that it can be used as a standalone verb which means to become.
저는 선생님이 되고 싶었어요.
I wanted to be a teacher. In lesson 14, you learned about its function in passive sentences. For example,
세금은 값에 포함된다.
the tax is included in the price. Another usage of
되다,
is to indicate that there is no problem with something. Common translations for this can be for something to be going well or for something to be working well. You can typically place
되다,
after a noun to indicate that there is no problem with that noun. The word
잘,
is often included in these sentences as its nature to mean well. For example,
사업이 잘 되고 있어요.
is your business going well?
일이 잘 돼요.
Is your work going well?
여기서,
Wi-Fi.
가 잘 돼요.
The Wi-Fi here works well.
심장 수술이 잘 됐어요.
Did the heart surgery go well?
문제 해결이 잘 됐어요.
Did the problem get solved okay? This same usage is often used to say that something has finished doing whatever it should be doing. For example,
밥이 됐어요.
is the rice ready? Has the rice finished cooking? You can also use
되다,
to tell somebody to stop giving you something. For example, if somebody is filling up a glass of water for you, and you want to say okay, that's enough, you can just say.
됐어요.
If you wanted to say the opposite, that is, that something is not going well, not working or is not finished, you should use the word
안,
even though the usual opposite of
잘,
is
못, 잘,
can also be included in these sentences along with
안,
just like how
잘,
can be used alongside.
못.
For example,
밥이 아직은 안 됐어요.
the rice still isn't ready.
여기서,
Wi-Fi.
가 잘 안 돼요.
The Wi-Fi doesn't work well here.
컴퓨터가 안 돼요.
The computer isn't working.
로그인이 안 돼요.
The login isn't working. I can't log in. Person 1.
축구 경기를 내일 보러 갈래요.
Shall we go to see a soccer game tomorrow? Person 2.
저는 가고 싶지만 내일은 안 돼요.
I want to go, but I can't go tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't work for me. I want to talk about this usage of
되다,
and how it can be applied in sentences with
얻어,
to be allowed to do.
얻어 되다,
In the previous section, you learned how
되다,
can be used to indicate that there is no problem with something. In the previous lesson, you learned how to attach
얻어,
to the stem of a clause to create the meaning of regardless of. For example,
내가 일찍 가도 equal
regardless of if you leave early.
되다,
in the usage described in this lesson, is commonly used after,
얻어,
to indicate that there is no problem with the action being done. For example,
내가 일찍 가도 돼.
regardless of if you leave early, there is no problem. This typically translates to one may or one is allowed to. For example,
내가 일찍 가도 돼.
you may go early, or you are allowed to go early. Below are many examples.
아무거나 해도 돼요.
You can do whatever you want.
지금 문을 열어도 돼요.
You may open the door now.
제일 편리한 것을 선택해도 돼요.
You can choose the most convenient one.
여기 있어도 돼요.
You are allowed to be here.
당구를 여기서 쳐도 돼요.
You are allowed to play pool here.
이 직장에서 수염을 길러도 돼요.
You are allowed to have a beard at this job.
내일 시합에서 명예를 회복해도 돼요.
You can regain your honor during tomorrow's game.
고기의 그 단단한 부분도 먹어도 돼요.
You may even eat that hard stiff part of the meat.
학생들이 들어가도 되지만 부모를 동반해야 돼요.
Students may enter, but they must be accompanied by a parent.
문제를 이해하지 못하면 감독관에게 물어봐도 돼요.
You may ask the supervisor proctor if you don't understand the question. These types of sentences can also be used to ask questions. Here, the speaker is asking if there is any problem with an action occurring. For example,
제가 일찍 가도 돼요.
regardless of if I go early, is there any problem? These types of questions typically translation to may, or is it alright if? For example,
제가 일찍 가도 돼요.
may I go early? Below are many examples.
밥을 많이 먹어도 돼요.
May I eat a lot?
화장실에 가도 돼요.
May I go to the bathroom?
얼룩말에게 먹이를 줘도 돼요.
May I give feed to the zebras?
우리가 탁구를 해도 돼요.
May we play table tennis?
죄수를 보러 교도소에 들어가도 돼요.
May we go into the prison to see the prisoners?
옆에 있는 사람이 하는 말이 아주 불쾌해서 다른 자리로 가도 돼요.
What the person beside me is saying is unpleasant, so may I go to another seat?
선생님, 이 문제를 파악할 수 없어요. 나중에 선생님의 교무실에 가도 돼요.
Teacher, I can't understand this problem. May I go to your office later? The final clause of all of these example sentences has been in the present tense. It is possible to conjugate
되다,
to the past or future tenses to indicate that there would have been no problem if an action had been done, or will be done in the future. For example,
그때 나가도 되었어요.
it would have been okay if you left at that time.
문을 열어도 되었어요.
It would have been okay if you opened the door.
그때 나가도 될 거예요.
It will be okay if you leave at that time.
문을 열어도 될 거예요.
It will be okay if you open the door. One doesn't have to.
안 나와도 되다.
In the previous section, you learned how to indicate that there will be no problem if some action was completed. In order to indicate that there will be no problem if some action doesn't occur, you can conjugate the verb before,
얻어,
negatively using
안,
or.
지 않다.
For example,
내가 빨리 안 가도 돼.
regardless of if you don't leave quickly early, there is no problem. This typically translates to it is okay if one does not or one doesn't have to. For example,
내가 빨리 안 가도 돼.
you don't have to go quickly early. Below are many examples.
내일까지 다 안 해도 돼요.
You don't need to do it all by tomorrow.
저는 밥을 벌써 먹어서 다시 안 먹어도 돼요.
I don't need to eat because I already did.
여기에 사인을 안 해도 돼요.
You don't need to sign here.
이 음식에 소금을 안 넣어도 돼요.
You don't need to put salt on this food.
그런 것을 걱정 안 해도 돼요.
You don't need to worry about that kind of thing.
그 시험을 합격하기 위해 공부를 안 해도 돼요.
In order to pass the test, I don't need to study.
이 학교가 과학 고등학교라서 인문학을 공부하지 않아도 돼요.
You don't need to study the humanities at this school because it is a science high school.
그 나라에서 선생님이 되고 싶으면 특별한 자격이 있지 않아도 돼요.
If you want to become a teacher in that country, you don't need any special qualification.
핸드폰에 연락처 기능이 있어서 요즘의 사람들은 기억력이 좋지 않아도 돼요.
Cell phones have contact functions in them, so these days people don't need to have a good memory. You could also generally see this form as the opposite of,
아어야 하다.
which you learned in lesson 46. Notice the opposite meanings that these sentences have.
그 시험을 합격하기 위해 공부를 안 해도 돼요.
In order to pass the test, I don't need to study.
그 시험을 합격하기 위해 공부를 해야 돼요.
In order to pass the test, I need to study. This form can be used to ask questions as well. For example,
지금 밥을 안 먹어도 돼요.
you don't need to eat rice now.
내일까지 다 안 해도 돼요.
You don't need to do it all by tomorrow.
수염을 안 깎아도 돼요.
You don't need to shave your beard.
자격증을 안 보여줘도 돼요.
I don't need to show you my certification. Using words like
좋다.
and
괜찮다.
in all of the sentences in this lesson using
얻어도 되다.
the common meaning applied to all sentences is it is okay if, or there is no problem if, instead of using
되다.
other words that have a similar meaning can be used as well. The two most common substitutes for
되다.
in this usage are
좋다.
and.
괜찮다.
For example,
지금 문을 열어도 돼요.
you may open the door now.
지금 문을 열어도 좋아요.
You may open the door now.
지금 문을 열어도 괜찮아요.
You may open the door now.
밥을 많이 먹어도 돼요.
May I eat a lot?
밥을 많이 먹어도 좋아요.
May I eat a lot?
밥을 많이 먹어도 괜찮아요.
May I eat a lot? For more info, please visit howtostudiokorean.com.